15. The discipline of stability, leading without emotional whiplash. Emotional stability is often spoken of as though it were a personality trait, something a leader either possesses or does not. But in global organizations, stability is not a trait. Stability is a discipline. It is not something leaders are, it is something leaders practice. And this practice becomes most visible not when things are calm, but when things are uncertain, complex, or uncomfortable. In multicultural contexts, even small fluctuations in a leader's emotional expression echo loudly across the organization. A slight increase in urgency may trigger panic in one region but initiative in another. A shorter message may be read as focus in one culture and withdrawal in another. A moment of frustration that would be inconsequential in a co-located team becomes amplified across borders, especially when teams are already operating at the edge of their emotional bandwidth. The discipline of stability begins with recognizing that a leader's internal experience is not the same as the organization's external perception. Leaders often assume that because they feel mostly fine, they are perceived as stable. But stability is rarely measured by averages. It is measured by moments, the handful of interactions, tones, pauses, or expressions that people latch onto as emotional indicators. In a global organization, these moments become magnified, replayed, and interpreted through cultural lenses that the leader cannot fully see. A global executive once told me she learned this the hard way during a demanding few months. "I was juggling 10 priorities," she said. "Inside I felt composed, but stretched. Outside, they read me as inconsistent." Her tone softened on days she felt tired. It sharpened on days she felt focused. It accelerated when she felt pressured. To her, these were minor shifts. To her teams, they were emotional signals. Some interpreted the variations as stress, others as dissatisfaction, others as urgency, and others as disengagement. These interpretations then shaped behavior, creating small ripples of drift that eventually became visible. She had not changed her leadership. She had changed her emotional patterns. And in global environments, emotional patterns matter more than emotional moments. Practicing stability does not mean suppressing emotion. Suppression creates its own distortions, the brittle tone, the clipped phrasing, the constrained silence that teams interpret as something far heavier than the leader intended. Stability instead begins with awareness, an understanding of how one's emotional state might travel across cultural, linguistic, and hierarchical boundaries. Leaders who practice stability learn to carry their internal complexity with external clarity. One international leader described it as learning to hold the organization steady even when I am not steady myself. He did not mean performing artificial calm. He meant maintaining coherence. He meant naming when he was speaking urgently because urgency was warranted, not because of personal stress. He meant slowing his pace when he needed to think, rather than letting his haste become an emotional signal. He meant explaining the context behind his tone rather than leaving teams to interpret it. Stability was not the absence of fluctuation, it was the intentional management of meaning. Another leader, heading a multicultural team spanning 12 time zones, developed a ritual before major communications. She would pause and ask herself, "What will this sound like to someone who does not know what I know? What will this feel like in a culture where hierarchy carries emotional weight? How will this land if someone is already tired, uncertain, or afraid?" These questions were not a performance technique. They were a stabilizing practice. They allowed her to approach communication not from her own internal state, but from the emotional reality of her teams. Over time, her organization described her not simply as clear, but as reassuring, a form of leadership that created coherence even when circumstances were unstable. The discipline of stability also requires leaders to recognize when their own emotional signals are at risk of distortion. Fatigue, for example, is easily misinterpreted as disappointment. Efficiency is easily misread as frustration. Directness can be seen as stress. A brief silence can be taken as impending critique. Leaders often forget that their position amplifies emotional cues. A single comment or gesture can shape the emotional climate of entire regions. One global finance director recalled a moment when he reviewed weekly numbers with less enthusiasm than usual simply because he was preoccupied with unrelated issues. The team interpreted his subdued tone as dissatisfaction not with the numbers, but with them. This interpretation traveled through the organization, altering behavior in ways he never intended. People worked longer hours. Escalations increased. Mistakes were hidden. All because one tone, on one morning, had triggered an emotional ripple. Stability, then, is the discipline of recognizing one's influence. It is the discipline of being aware not only of what one communicates, but of how one is perceived. It is the discipline of understanding that emotion travels differently across borders. But the discipline of stability is not reserved for high-stakes moments. It is a daily practice, shaped by small interactions, the way a leader opens a meeting, responds to uncertainty, frames a setback, acknowledges a question, or explains a strategic shift. Each interaction either reinforces stability or erodes it. Each interaction teaches the organization how to interpret the next one. Perhaps the most profound aspect of emotional stability is that leaders do not maintain stability alone. They cultivate it in partnership with their teams. When leaders build trust, clarify tone, align urgency, and address silence, the organization begins to regulate itself. Stability becomes distributed. Meaning becomes steadier. Drift slows. And the leader is no longer the sole anchor, the emotional architecture itself becomes an anchor. This distributed stability is the mark of mature global leadership. It is the moment when the organization no longer relies on the leader's mood, availability, or tone to interpret meaning. Instead, the organization carries a shared emotional logic, one that leadership has guided, shaped, and refined. In the next chapter, we explore how this emotional architecture becomes embedded, how cultural, strategic, and behavioral alignment consolidate over time to create an organization that interprets meaning predictably and instinctively, even under pressure.